Yeah, good morning, everyone. US market had seen a sideways movement or yesterday. After run up on Friday, it was more of a quiet day in US. And even if we see the futures, they are marginally down. And in Asia also, we are seeing more of a marginal decline type of market. Whereas commodities are seeing some corrections. Oil now is below 16, around $69. Yesterday it was somewhere around 70.4. Uh, there was a good correction which has happened in last 7-8 days. And apart from that, even iron ore today morning again is down by around 3.5%. Apart from that, other commodities are more of a marginal down, like aluminum and copper are down by around 0.3, 0.4%. And steel on the other end is up by around 1% in Chinese market. Now I'll request technical team to take up first.
Yeah, good morning, all of you. See, yesterday you already mentioned that Nifty trading within the range and maybe see some sideways momentum in market. Today we also expect this same moment. Upside 16,320, 330 is the immediate resistance for index, and Nifty close above that level. Then we expect further momentum towards 16,400, 500 in upper side. Downside 16,200 and 16,170 is the important support zone for Nifty. Do we expect sideways momentum? We are upon a flattish note, remaining sideways during the day. And Bank Nifty looks positive at current level. Bank Nifty yesterday closed above 36,100 level. Do we expect some positive momentum in Bank Nifty? Bank Nifty looks at current level is good and upside 36,550, 36,800 is the next resistance and next target level. Downside immediate support place at 35,850 and then 35,600, 500 at downside. Do we expect positive momentum in banking stock? Nifty Finance also looks positive at current level. He also break the important resistance level and close above that important resistance level, that is 17,270 level. Upside 17,400 next resistance level, and support place at 17,170 level. In stock specific, Dr. Reddy looks positive at current level. We expect some positive momentum towards 49 and 5,000 upside level. 47 is an important support zone for Dr. Reddy. Axis Bank comparatively looks in banking, and Axis Bank looks positive, but Axis Bank goes above 750 to 58 level, then we can take a position, because there is a intraday immediate resistance for 758. If they break that level, then we expect 778, 780 in upside. Support place at 745, that is 50 DMA. So this is technical stock. Derivative guy can carry.
Yeah, thank you, Vikas. See, on the derivative front, looking at the overall open interest, the 16,200, 300, 16,100, 16,000 put strikes have considerable amount of open interest built up. Also, 16,200 strike has, the strike has the PCR above 1. Also, the 16 in the last 2-3 days, the 16,300, 400 and 500 strikes have the call base which has increased, and that has increased by leaps and bounds. There is about 1 lakh shares which have increased in 16,300 yesterday. So the PCR has fallen from 1.65 to 1.35, which is a good sign because it had gone towards the oversold zone, overbought zone, and which has now it has come down. In all probability, it looks like 16,200 will be a good support area. The data now suggests, there might not be a very big fall that we were expecting from 16,200 to 16,000 odd levels. Also, the VIX continues to remain around the 12 and a half, 13 levels. I believe this VIX, unless goes above 15 levels, there's no sign to worry. Open interest is still a sign of worry because, as I've said yesterday, the 10 million shares that was there in the overall index and stocks, that has really shot up from 10 to 14 almost. So that's a 40% increase in the last 3-4 days. And whenever such increase happen, it is followed by phase of consolidation or a little bit of fall till the open interest falls. So this is one sign of worry. So at this point of time, once 16,200 breaks, we would suggest some amount of profit booking, and very likely if 16,200 breaks, 16,000 will be seen in a day or two. So until then, buy with a stop loss of 16,200. From the stock specific front, see, PSU stocks, even though yesterday they've seen some selling, but they continue to witness good buying, and the open interest is still light. I don't think very big fall will come here. They'll start to perform on the upside very soon. So do not miss out here. I believe the BPCL, ONGC, SBIs and the other large cap PSUs which are in the FNO space, they are likely to move up steadily for this month. So look to invest there. That's it from my side. I like to ask the fundamental team to continue.
Good morning. Yesterday, life insurance monthly numbers have come out for July. Among the listed companies, SBI Life posted the highest APE growth of 39% year on year, followed by 28% growth by Bajaj and ICICI Prudential. Lowest growth was posted by HDFC Life at 15%. After many months of losing market share, we have seen SBI Life outperforming in July, which is a positive sign. And as a whole, we remain positive on the whole sector. Today, one IPO will be opening for application, Aptus Value Housing Finance. We recommend to subscribe to this issue. Its business is similar to that of Awas Housing and Home First Finance, which are also into affordable housing. Here the ticket size is just 7 lakh rupees. And so they don't get much competition from banks and other larger NBFCs. What differentiates Aptus from other two listed companies is its exposure to business loans, which forms 25% of its loan book, which is nothing but SME loans having ticket size of very low of just 7 odd lakhs. However, here the company charges interest rate of 21%, which is as good as what is being charged to microfinance customers. Instead of the normal home loan, where they charge just 14%. So this is the difference basically between Awas, Home First, and Aptus. So because of this, the net interest margins of Aptus is at 10% compared to 7% for other two peers. And this is percolating down to ROA of 6% versus 3% for other peers. So Aptus is being offered at 7 times price to book on FY21 basis compared to 8.5 times for Awas. So having higher return ratios and coming at a lower valuation, we think it is a good stock to apply for the IPO. We have a subscribe rating. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Yesterday, Shelby Limited announced their results. This is a hospital company based in Ahmedabad mainly. The results have improved for the quarter, and this is the second consecutive quarter we have seen that Shelby has posted good results. EBITDA margins have improved to 20% versus a loss last year and 21% Q&Q. Despite the COVID-related disruptions, that is also the one of the cheaper stocks in the hospital segment. It is trading 32 times TTM EPS. So we are positive on this, and we have seen that the stock has actually ran quite a bit in the recent past. However, we are positive on the hospital segment or as a whole. So we are positive on this also. AstraZeneca Pharma announced their results, and results were declining. This is another MNC company. However, unlike the other companies, the results were not quite good. Revenue degrew by 9%, and EBITDA margin also were declining at 9% versus 15% last year and 19% last quarter. Still, the company is trading at 95.5 times TTM EPS. We are actually positive on other MNC companies like Sanofi, Abbott India, which are better managed MNC companies. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Subex has posted declining set of numbers for the quarter. Other than this, Gati has posted declining set of numbers for the quarter. Indija Global Solutions has posted okay set of numbers for the quarter. Thank you.
Yeah, quite a few more results. Like MRF came up with the numbers. We feel numbers are ahead of its peer. The gross margin declined because of the increase in raw material. For MRF was 60 bips, whereas for C8 it was around 310 bips, and Apollo it was around 230 bips. Though results as compared to year, it is ahead of expectations, but the valuations are more of a fairly priced and do not have any big opportunity in near term. Apart from that, Balrampur Chini also came up with the numbers, and numbers were as expected declining. We are seeing most of the sugar companies are reporting declining set of number, mainly because of decline in sugar division, which is because this time the sugar season started early and ended early. Crushing season started early and ended early, and because of that Q1 where the last year the sugar production was going on for a longer period, this time it has reduced, and that's why sugar division impacted profit. And also because of plants not running, power generation was low, and as such power production was less, and the profitability of power division also came down. This is compensated by, to some extent, by ethanol or ENA division, but not to the full extent. As such, results were declining for Balrampur Chini, but Balrampur Chini announced buyback plan. This is there more of a, every year they come up. It's more of a capital allocation. Last time they done from open market through tender offer, but this time it is open market purchase from stock market. And the issue size is of around 200 plus crores, and the issue price is 410 crore, but mostly purchased from the open market. So here, no doubt the results were lower, but overall outlook for bit longer period is positive for sugar for Balrampur Chini. Apart from that, Sri Cement came up with the number, and the numbers were more of a in line with expectations. The volume came at around 6.8 million ton. Expectation was also around 6.8 million ton. Last quarter it was 8.22, and last year it was 4.93. EBITDA per ton came in at 1482 per 1482. Whereas the expectation was at around 1500, and last quarter it was at around 1432, and last year 1431. So if we see at such, if we compare it with the other player, we are not seeing much EBITDA expansion. as it was seen in ECC or Gujarat Ambuja. EBITDA per ton expanded or came ahead by around 200 rupees from what was expected. Here the expectation was already 100 rupees plus, and it has come to that. So as such, more of a okay set of number for Shree Cement, and the valuations are always Shree Cement commands much higher valuation as compared to its peer. It's trading at around 20 times EV by EBITDA FY 23 earning. Two issues, one issue which opened yesterday, but we skipped from reporting, that is Nuvoco Cement. It's more of a Nirma Cement, you can say. Its name is Nirma. It's owned by Nirma Group. As such, we had not recommended this issue, though we are positive on cement sector, mainly on account of lower than its peer EBITDA per ton, and also valuations are higher. If we compare the direct, it's a company which is operating in eastern region, that is Bihar, Chhattisgarh and all. And that region as such is good and expanding or growing faster than other region. The direct peer is Dalmia Bharat Cement. So if we compare it with Dalmia Bharat Cement, the EBITDA per ton for last year came in at around 930 rupees, whereas for Dalmia Bharat it was 1,300 rupees, and valuation which the company is asking for is at around 16 time EV by EBITDA, whereas Dalmia Bharat is right now trading at around 14.7 time EV by EBITDA, FY21 EBITDA. So on the one hand, the EBITDAs are lower, and on the other hand, the valuation asked is comparatively higher. So as such, no doubt, outlook for eastern region and cement play is positive, but the valuation asked by Nuvoco is higher. As such, we feel that there is no point in going for that stock, and as such, we had not recommended this stock. Apart from that, Chemplast Sanmar is also issue is starting today. Here, if we see, the issue size is at around 5,000 plus crores and mainly offer for sale, and the fresh issue is 1,300 crore. This company is mainly into PVC, manufactures PVC through both the route, that is from VCM to PVC and from EDC to PVC. Both the routes are used by this, and one of the largest player of PVC in India. But here, if we see, the PVC prices has run up a lot in recent past, from around $800, $900 to around $1,600. And from there, if we see, it has corrected to $1,300. So Q1 result, we had already seen Finolex Industry or even the DCM, Shriram, or even DCW, who are there in PVC. All the PVC division has done poorly in Q1. So the same thing will be applicable to even this company as well. And apart from that, the PVC cycle, which is at top of the top end, and if it start coming down or start correcting, then will have some negative impact on this particular company. It's more of a commodity company, what we see. There is a specialty chemical division, which is but very comparatively very small. So the result will be driven by PVC prices, and considering the commodity natures, the valuation asked by the company is comparatively steep at around 10 times EV by EBITDA, which we feel is very risky when you are playing in the commodity market. So overall, we had not recommended even this IPO as well. Apart from that, now results for 11th. So Bajaj Electrical is likely to report numbers. Numbers are likely to show declining trend. Year on year, the sales is likely to decline by, likely to improve by around 33%. But if we see compare it with last to last year, the sales will still be down by around 40% as compared to June 2019 results. So still far off from where their normal operations is, and as such result is likely to be declining. Similar is the case with Bata India. Here again results, if we compare it with 2-year perspective, the sales will be down by around 70%. Though year on year it is likely to show improvement, but from the base normalized quarter of Q1 of 2 year back, it will be still down by around 70% and mainly impacted by lockdown. The result will be down. On the other, Cadila Healthcare is likely to report numbers, and numbers are likely to be okay. Sales is likely to increase by around 9%, and EBITDA margins are likely to remain stable. Then CESC is again likely to report okay set of numbers. Cummins India is likely to report number, and here again the numbers are likely to be showing some declining trend, but not so great. Quarter on quarter the results will be down by around 15% on revenue, and EBITDA margin is likely to decline by around 80 bips. So there is some marginal decline even after the lockdown period. HEG Limited is likely to report number. Here again, numbers are likely to be good as graphite prices has started improving, and the legacy impact of needle coke prices is now out. So HEG results are likely to show some substantial improvement in this quarter. Then India Cement is likely to report number. Here again, last quarter was not so great. The EBITDA per ton came down very sharply. From there, it is likely to show improvement, but still it will be lower than the last year. So overall result is likely to be more of a okay set of number. Then Indoco Remedy is likely to show improved set of number. So Pidilite is likely to report number, and numbers are likely to be more of a declining or lower on and impacted on account of lockdown. Quarter on quarter sales will be down by around 17%, and if we compare it with 2-year perspective, the sales will be lower by around 9%, and margins are likely to come off from last quarter by around 300 basis points. So results is likely to be declining. So, and last VIP is again got impacted because of the lockdown, and the result will be declining. So that's all from us. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.